show me your real self, and then I can be like,
I can dismiss you.
Which is pretty messed up.
That's very honest of you, Josh.
I think it's a lot of it is like, I hate that in myself too. Like I'm very judgmental of myself a lot, and so it's like easy for me to
do that to others.
Do that to other people. So do you think you need to find someone that their goals are similar to yours? Like, is that important?
And I think a lot of people in their 20s, teens and 20s do this. Oh, here's my list.
Right.
She's got to have these, qualities, and I think both girls and guys do that. I think the older I get, the more I realize that list was probably too strict. So I'm gonna caution against having a list. Yeah, is it good to have overlapping hobbies? Absolutely. I mean, I like to snowboard. It'd be awesome to be able to snowboard with my wife. I like to work out. Clearly, it'd be awesome to do some sort of workouts. Not every single. It's not be every type of workout that I enjoy.
Do you think it's okay to have like somewhat of a list though, like here are like non-negotiables that like if my wife doesn't want to, or if my girlfriend doesn't want to like work out with me, then she's not my wife, kind of, or nah. I mean, obviously, Jesus loving, that should for sure be one.
Yeah. I think we definitely have to have some non-negotiables. The question is how exhaustive of a list and how detailed does it have to be? Like, I think it's a non-negotiable for me that my wife values health and fitness. How that's demonstrated.
Right. What level?
I'm not like, if she's a dancer and I'm not a dancer, like I do swing dance, but like she's like a ballerina. I mean, I'd be happy to try it, but she's gonna laugh at me, and I'm not gonna be able to do it every day. So yeah, however that fitness and well-being manifests, I don't think I should be that fixated on. It'd be cool if she likes to lift weights and go snowboarding and running, but I don't think I need it. I don't think I should require that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. But again, if your list gets too long, you risk eliminating every female from the list. Right?
Right. There's have you seen How I Met Your Mother?
I haven't. Yeah.
There's a scene in it that the main character, like the whole show is basically him trying to like find love, right? Like his wife. And in one of the scenes, he like goes to this, I don't even know what it is. It's like a company. Basically, they like take everyone in New York City, 'cause that's where he lives, and they find your perfect match.
Okay.
Or like how many girls you're like compatible with.
Right.
And all of his friends go and do it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like 100 girls, and like here's all their social medias. And then he does it, and it's like you're compatible with 2 women.
Yes.
And then they're both married already. He like looks them up.
Right.
So he's like, oh my gosh, like I'm screwed.
Exactly.
And I forget what happens after that. But
if one of them were single, that actually would make it easier, because then he only has to date 2 women and just choose between them. But
as long as you don't screw it up, and then
well, at least you have a backup. If it was just one, then
But yeah, like so, I guess I just get caught on the goal thing, because it's like if you want to, let's just say you're an athlete and you want to like achieve this level of maybe pro athletics.
Right.
But your wife isn't into that. Like, I feel like at some point they're gonna like pull like if she's like not eating healthy and not like,
Yeah. Well, are you going to be attracted to a woman who's not eating healthy?
Maybe, I don't know.
Huh.
Well, you don't know that right away. So would you say that's a non-negotiable though, or
for me?
Like eating healthy?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Health and fitness are non-negotiable.
Oh, okay.
For me, but again, how that manifests.
Right, looks different.
Like, could she be a vegetarian? I suppose. Like, I'm gonna eat a lot of meat, but as long as she's cool with me eating meat, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then, again, for fitness, whatever she does to stay fit, that's her interest. So yeah, I don't think that's a problem to want someone who takes care of themselves. That's another way to put it.
I like that.
Again, it's like I want someone who has a good relationship with Jesus, or even a good relationship with their parents. I don't think you should have that as a non-negotiable, to have a good relationship with their parents, because again, the parents could be terrible people and
Right.
they ended up, finding Jesus and turning their lives around. But I think, being attracted to someone who has a good relationship with their family is not a problem. Of course, that's a positive quality. We should be attracted to that. So yeah, having a good relationship with Jesus, having a good relationship with themselves, I think are two, for me, non-negotiables. So if someone doesn't have that as a non-negotiable, I'm going to try to convince them that they should.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. But first, it might require them to become healthy themselves. So,
Right.
or have a relationship with Jesus themselves.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so a good example of like someone like that I've seen, not that I know personally, but Chris Bumstead, the dude I was telling you about, who's the Olympia winner like 6 times.
Right.
He just won again.
Focused on his family too.
Well, yeah. So he got married, I think, like maybe 2 years ago. So like part of the way through I'd say towards like the middle end of his bodybuilding career, But I think he dated her since pretty much the beginning, and she's also like a women's physique competitor or whatever. Yeah. So she's into it.
Right.
But yeah, he says like, yeah, she's one of the biggest motivators, and like when he's just losing motivation, that she is the one that's there for him. And
that's huge.
Honestly, pretty much all the top Olympia dudes are like that. Like,
yeah.
The guy that just won the Open, his wife was his coach.
Wow.
Which was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, why is your wife your coach? Like, you're not going to win. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Because I guess she's not even a bodybuilder.
Oh, really?
But
she has even the knowledge, or is she just like,
well,
for me, baby, I love you. It's motivated.
Inspirational. Well, yeah, I don't even know. I'm sure she has some.
Yeah. She's probably learned through the years.
Background, yeah, exactly. But he was like, listen, I already know everything I need to know, like
exactly
science-wise and like diet-wise and lifting-wise. He's like, I just need, more so that like encouragement and like someone that's just there for me, you know?
Yeah.
And everyone was
that's
like,
a huge motivator.
Yeah. Everyone was like, no, like, what are you doing? Because he hadn't won until this year.
Wow.
This is a different category of the Olympia. But yeah, he won, and everybody was like, that's crazy.
Must have been luck.
And the crazy thing too is you have to like split your winnings with your coach, I guess.
Nice. So they got it all in the family. Another incentive.
So everyone's like, dang, we miscalculated. He knew what he was doing.
Exactly.
So.
No, again, I don't think there's a hard and fast rule. I can think of, again, CrossFit was my life and still is to some degree for about 10 years. But two of the top guys, Rich Froning and Matt Fraser, their wives.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt had I think he married her, but his
girlfriend,
his girlfriend was his cook, which was amazing. She cooked all his meals for him, and
I remember
it seemed like she loved it. And like that took a lot off of his plate.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
After he ate it. Meal prep and meal, like that's like, an hour per meal is 3 hours a day. And that's for a crappy meal. Like a great meal 3 times a day is like 4 or 5 hours. So that's saving him 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I don't think she works out, but maybe she does. But
I think she does.
Maybe she's not like a hardcore CrossFitter.
No.
And then same with Rich Froning. Like Rich.
Yeah.
Again, from the documentary I watched, like she makes fun of how competitive he is. She's like, you go do your thing, honey. I'm in here. And I'm sure he uses, like, she's a motivation to him. But, like, she's not like, if you don't do this, I'm leaving you. It's kind of the opposite. But clearly Rich had enough motivation, enough knowledge that he didn't need that the girl to, like, be that kind of girl. And maybe if he had that kind of girl, she would have been annoying to him.
Right, and it would have hindered him, maybe.
Well, he worked out like 8 hours a day, so I don't know. But anyway, I think it's to each his own. Like if you realize that you need that in your life, I don't think she has to be like side by side lifting with you.
Right.
But yeah, if
Yeah.
you think it'd be nice to, marry your coach, then I guess go after the bodybuilding coaches. Or again, people change. Like maybe
Yeah.
the girl you meet is healthy and into something else, but you expose her to your sport, and
Yeah.
within a few months she's doing it. 6
Yeah.
months she's like training people. Like people change. So I'm just hesitant to say, oh no, Josh, you have to only date bodybuilders or else you're not going to be happy. I think if you think that way, you're probably closed off to what God might be, have prepared for you.
Yeah. It almost feels like it's not doable though to like know for sure that someone's gonna support you in whatever you do, like vetting wise almost. Because
No,
I don't know, maybe it's just like,
I think people can pretend.
yeah.
But yeah, so I think you have to be able to gauge whether someone is authentic in the courtship, in the dating phase.
Yeah.
If you have any suspicion that they're inauthentic,
Yeah.
well then yeah, their interest in weightlifting might be totally fabricated.
Right.
But if they're an authentic person, which I hope you're only attracted to authentic people in the long term,
Yeah.
and they show interest in what you're doing, I think that's going to be, I think you can trust that for the long term.
Okay.
Because an authentic person would say, oh yeah, you're a bodybuilder, that's cool.
Right.
I'm not going to get in the way.
Right.
But that's not my thing. And if you expect me to get into it, you might be mistaken. Like someone who knows themselves and is authentic would say something like that. Maybe a little less direct than that, but
Yeah.
that's what I would say to somebody that if they're proposing something to me that I have little interest in.
So you think attitude is bigger than like what specifically they're interested in?
I think so.
Yeah.
Character is more important, yeah.
That's a good statement, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard because it's like you can have someone though that you think is like that, and then you said like people do change,
Sure.
and so I feel like it's like if you do get married though, you have to almost accept the fact that like you might have to put your goals on the back burner.
Absolutely.
Because it's like you are committing to this person.
Yeah, you might have to refine your goals.
And like maybe, if you're single, it's like, yeah, your goals can be number one, other than like God should be number one. But then after that, it's like your goals can be pretty focused, But then it's like, let's say you're Rich Froning or Chris Bumstead, and you're like, let's say you're an elite athlete and you're a pro athlete, but you're also married, and they're really supportive. And then like something happens, and like you got to support them, and
right.
So you have to be willing, I feel like, to give up your goals to support them.
I think you're right. But that's life in general. In the end, you have to see that as a calling from God. That God is proposing this for me.
Right.
Not this woman. It's actually God himself who's saying,
wow,
Josh, I want you. And I suspect I'm not God. I feel like I know him somewhat. I suspect if it really is good for you and it's a legitimate passion, he'll probably take that away for a time to show, for you to show him and yourself your fidelity, and then he'll give it back all the more. I mean, look at Abraham. That's the story of Abraham, right? Sacrifice your son. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm 100 years old. I'm not going to do this again. Nope, you love me, you will.
Dang, that's actually a crazy parallel. I mean, that makes sense, but like, that's true, because like with God, it's like, he may ask you to give up your goals, and
for a time at least,
either
maybe permanently even.
Yeah, either you say yes or you say no, I guess. But
exactly. And you look at women. I mean, I'm so inspired by women who are mothers, who become mothers like in their prime, like CrossFit women. Of course, they probably expand to all sports, but I'm again a CrossFitter. But I see these women who give birth, who are elite CrossFitters. They come back and they're better.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's like, if that's not like a sign,
that's crazy.
Okay, I'm calling you to be a mom. Spend the next 9 months, maybe 10, 11. You gotta lose a little baby fat and breastfeed for a time, but so maybe a year. Give it a year. Give this child a year of all you got. I'm gonna give your passion back to you and more. You're gonna be better.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, do dudes have something like that? Can we have like? I guess we should take rest because we don't like our rest days. So maybe that's a sign. We should just spend once or twice a week doing nothing.
Yeah. Right.
And whatever, I guess spending time with people we love, and then maybe we'll be even better athletes as a result.
Yeah. There's a guy that talks about that, about like, because men don't have like an inherent value. I'm sure you've heard it, but men can't like give birth to children, and that's part of the reason that like a lot of men feel like they can't rest, because it's like you're the one that's
Exactly.
like help your wife to rest, and then this is a little bit off topic, but
no, I'm sure it's connected.
But you're the one that's like got to keep grinding, you know.
Yeah. So. And obviously you got to grind in other ways. If you're a dad, but
yeah,
you maybe take a day or two off of grinding in the weight room and grind in other ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which
all right.
Emotional grinding maybe is, we'll call it. Becoming more emotionally available.
I don't know if I want that. No, I get what you're saying. But yeah, and so going back to Chris Bumstead, like he retired. He's done because he just had his first kid.
Okay.
Last year, and he was
yeah.
thinking about retiring last year, but he did one more year, and now he's like, I gotta focus on like my health and family and stuff. Which
I doubt
cool.
He's done. He's probably done competing.
Yeah, and he his business is like bodybuilding, so
exactly.
he'll stay in the business.
He's not done.
But
you never give that stuff up.
Yeah.
Until you're like injured and you're incapacitated.
Yeah.
Then you give it up.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy for him though. Like a lot of people, they don't know when their peak is. You know, it's just like you wake up one day and you're like, yeah, I peaked back in my when I was 26. You know,
right.
But it's like he finished his competition and he's like, that's the best I'm ever gonna look. Like that was my peak, and I'm never gonna be that good again.
Right.
Which is just like the amount of like.
How old is he?
29.
He could be wrong.
Maybe that's true. I mean,
people have done crazier things, but yeah, if he's decided that I'm not going to train that hard ever again, then he's right.
But yeah, it is beautiful. His retirement speech after he won the Olympia was like, sometimes like you think that these big things are like your life purpose, and that's what life is all about.
Right.
And you like accomplish all these things, and then you realize like
it's just the beginning.
The little things were not even just the beginning, but the little things were like the things that actually mattered more, like his wife and his
which
girl.
In the end you realize that's not the little things. That's the most important thing. Yeah, exactly. What to a lot of people would seem like the little thing.
Yeah.
Is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's a Christian. I mean, maybe he is. He doesn't talk about it at all if he is, but he's like a really solid dude. Like a lot of his advice is pretty good. So
he's a theologian calls him an anonymous Christian, or a closet Christian. He doesn't know it.
Exactly.
But he is. He's clearly embracing, a Christian perspective to some degree.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the call to action would be for this.
Call to action. For you or for everybody?
For me, I guess. And everybody.
Well, it seems like if I'm reading you correctly,
Uh-oh.
you sound kind of like I was when I was your age. You have a little bit of fear about being with the wrong person.
Yeah, I'd say that's true.
And I would say that's probably better than the opposite fear in these days. Like
what, being alone? Or?
No. The fear of, or like the just such a, like you just want to be in a relationship so bad you'll be with anybody. I think that's probably a bigger problem.
Sure.
Because you most likely would end up with someone that's going to be bad for you. So to have some caution, and maybe you have excessive caution. We can analyze that if we want, but you have some caution about, I would say some inordinate caution about being with someone who's not going to support your goals.
Yeah.
The call to action. How do we address that?
Don't make it too hard.
No. It's little steps. I would say keep being cautious. Like unless you haven't dated at all in the last 5 years. I'm assuming you're going on dates and you're open to meeting girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you meet a girl that you're intrigued by, and maybe people in general, like, be more interested in their goals than yours. So get to know their goals.
Okay.
Not again. I'm not asking you to shoot to the other extreme in any way of like, oh, this person's goals are more important than mine. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, be curious about.
Yeah.
And like ask more questions of their goals than they ask of you.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll eventually just be a competition who asks the more questions, and that could get annoying. But if they don't know that you're doing that, be the one who seems more curious about what they want to accomplish in life.
Yeah, no, that's good. Because I think sometimes I almost like look for red flags a little bit.
Absolutely,
Like,
you do, because I do
like,
the same.
Just mess up. Like, that's all I need, and then I can move on.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And not in like the like make a mistake mess up. Just like more so like show me your real self, and then I can be like
I can dismiss you.
Which is pretty messed up.
That's very honest of you, Josh.
I think it's a lot of it is like. I hate that in myself too. Like I'm very judgmental of myself a lot, and so it's like easy for me to
do that to others.
Do that to other people, you know. And
same.
That's something I'm trying to work on. Is like, and it's actually been really helping. Is like, you know what? Even when I make mistakes, like, I still love myself, you know. And
it's beautiful.
Because I haven't, like, traditionally, that has not been my mindset. It's been like, you know, just use that as motivation because you know you just gotta grind and almost like not masochistic, but like use your like frustration as motivation, as fuel, kind of. So
no, I can. You're a younger version of myself, Josh. So I wanna, and it's amazing you're aware of that at your age, because I was not until maybe my 30s. So keep being self-aware. And I'm giving you hopefully a tool to correct that thing that you're aware of in yourself. Yeah.